Welcome to the Brad Jay Show with your host, legendary professional announcer, Brad Jay.
And a very big welcome to the Brad Jay Show, effective for your March 22nd, 2024, and the first episode of the show. You can also check out my radio show. That is at ktyd.com. I'm on 7 to midnight, Monday through Friday, and then Saturdays I do the 3 to 8 thing, and that's at ktyd.com, and that's all about the Classic Rock Show. But this isn't that. This is the Brad Jay Show, and today on the show, we're going to break down all kinds of things. Going to give you the stories of the day in a little bit, the big three sports stories going on, the birthday roast, the Brad Jay Rewind, and This Week in History is all coming up. This is my daughter, Damiana. Damiana, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Ready to get into this show for the first time?
I'm ready. I'm more than ready.
Okay, well, it's on. Brad Jay Show, you can check it out. YouTube, also the podcast, The Brad Jay Show on the podcast network and YouTube as well, Instagram, all that. And you can also email directly to the show, thebradjayshow@gmail.com, and that is the social media as well, The Brad Jay Show. Here we go. Let's get into the stories of the day. First off, I want to talk about this one. A YouTuber arrested for supplying snake venom as a party drug.
That's very interesting. What's going on with that one?
That is probably your aged people doing something like this. What the heck is going on? What kind of buzz does that give you?
I don't know. I've never tried that specifically.
You
but
better not know.
Yeah, no. You know what? I don't want to claim that I'm part of the Gen Z thing that they're doing there.
It's a Gen Z thing, right?
It is. It is, unfortunately.
And of course, this was in India. Not saying that it's supposed to be, but it was in India. And this guy has 15 million YouTube subscribers. So 15 million people actually listen and watch this guy. And here's a dude that supplies snake venom as a party drug. And 15 million people follow him. This is what blows me away.
I got to wonder what that does to you. Why the snake venom?
I would not even venture to even think what that would do to you at all. So he's in trouble right now.
I'm sure.
There's also been 13 different cases in India alone regarding people partying up with snake venom.
Wow. All right. That's a story for you right there.
Actually stupid. Applications are being accepted for the Penguin Post Office in Antarctica.
All right.
So can you imagine going to Antarctica and working the Penguin Post Office? So you would literally work at a post office in Antarctica.
How many pieces of mail are actually coming in to that post office every day? One, two?
I wouldn't think it's a lot, but here's some of the prerequisites that you must be. You must be self-motivated.
Okay.
Empathetic.
Okay.
I don't know why empathetic would be in there, but here's one that this would never work for you. Fine with showering only once every 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a no for me there.
And think about this. The only time they get those showers in is once every 2 weeks, but it's only when a ship shows up. So when the ship's there, you wrap up your towel, you grab your shampoo, you grab your stuff, and then you go to the ship and shower. Can you imagine how gross those showers are? Being a ship shower?
Yeah, they're probably pretty gross. And are they even going to be warm?
There's like 400 dudes probably using that same shower, and you're going to go, yeah, I'm going to get a shower in.
Ugh.
You don't qualify because you're not a UK resident.
Yep.
The skills required. You have to look up to the building. You have to sell stamps. So you have to know how to sell stamps.
People are coming into an Antarctica post office to buy stamps. Really? All right.
And you have to run the gift shop, too. There's an actual gift shop that's attached to it.
All right.
So there you go. If you want to apply, but you have to be from the UK. So UK residents only. There you go. Applying for the post office in Antarctica. Probably a job that's not a good job, if you don't mind being stanky. Here's one. This one really freaked me out. Woman chats to dead mom using AI.
Okay. That's a new one. What's going on with that?
Women chats to dead mom using AI. So there's a company called Project December. And Project December you give them information about your deceased relative or whoever it is. Maybe it could be a friend too. And for $10, you can start texting that person.
Kind of reminds me of a Black Mirror episode I just watched.
It does kind of do that to me
yeah.
too as well. So the example, I kind of went on there and I was looking at the text and so this woman, she wanted to talk to her mom. So she gave the information and she She sent her text, said, "Hey, Mom, how are you? Are you well?" The deceased mom responded back, "I am fine." "Are you eating well?" the deceased mom said.
I don't know about
She said,
this.
"I'm going to the store today, Mom." And Mom, the deceased mom, said, "Don't buy too much." And then the daughter, this is where it gets sad. "I wanted to see you before you passed," like passed away. And the deceased mom said, "Well, it wasn't up to me." And then the daughter, "Were you ready to go?" And the deceased mom, "Yes." And that was the back and forth.
That's interesting. I mean, this can't be real. Are they actually talking to their dead relatives?
Are you kidding with me?
How is that even possible?
It's completely fake.
So, how do people
wait a
believe
minute. You didn't believe that, did you? Like,
Well, I mean, there was part of me that was kind of going, well,
wait a minute. What? Wait, what? Dead mom is.
I don't know.
Dead mom is getting a hold of her.
Okay, so I could say how do people believe it, but I mean, I even believed it for a minute there, so.
But the guy who runs the business, he says that he doesn't have a lot of repeat customers. They do it one time or so, and they do it for like an hour, text back and forth, and maybe they just get creeped out by the whole thing and just say, I'm done with it. So.
Well, that's an interesting story there.
And that is your stories of the day. Time to get into things right now, and it is time for Damiana's Big Three here on the Brad Jay Show.
The Big Three. The biggest news in the sporting world. Go big or go home.
All right, it's time for the Big Three with Damiana. Today we're going to talk about Xgames Ventura. It is going to be returning to Ventura for the second year this year, June 28th through the 30th. Last year, Xgames California drew in over 50,000 people. This year, it's going to be called Xgames Ventura.
Okay, and you got to know why. I mean, if you think about it, I was there. I did all the live announcing for all the venue stuff out there at Seaside Park out there in Ventura. And being that it was called Xgames California, you knew if you're Ventura, you're the one putting up with this. You're the one who has X Games. So I think the pressure, and I don't know for sure, but I think pressure was put on by the city of Ventura to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure it
change
was.
the name.
And they want it to be Xgames Ventura. Why not? Why not get the name of Ventura out there to more people?
Yeah, so it's such a cool venue, too. I mean, I've been doing X Games since the San Francisco one in 2000, and so to be part of it and seeing it come back, it needs to be in Ventura. All right, sorry. I was interrupting. Keep going.
No, you're right. And I was born and raised in Ventura. It's an amazing city. It's fun to go to, and I love that they're doing X Games there again this year. Last year, they put in an area for bicycles and surfboards to check in at. I mean, what other event are you going to where they have a check-in spot for not only your bikes, but also your surfboards? That's very Ventura right there.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them do a skate check before, but to have a surf check is pretty darn cool.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They even got the Pacific Surfliner trains to get wrapped all in X Games California branding, and I actually took the train to X Games Ventura last year. Remember, I met up with you up in the booth.
Okay, so give me your rating of the experience. Okay, so X Games wanted to make it to where people could train in because the train depot station is right near X Games in Ventura. So what was your experience? You did it from Carpinteria. You rode the train in.
It was great. I mean, the train ride was about 25 minutes. Everybody that was on the train was going to X Games. It was very clear. And you got off right there, right at the X Games venue. You get to walk right into X Games. You can have a few drinks and get a safe ride home. It was amazing.
I like that. Okay.
It was great. So our next story that we're talking about is Shohei Ohtani. He is joining the Los Angeles Dodgers this year. And Shohei Ohtani is MLB's probably one of their most talented players. The interesting thing about what he's doing this year with the Dodgers is he signed a 10-year contract for $700 million.
Add the extra zero, right?
Yeah. $700 million, which is one of the biggest contracts in sports history ever.
Yeah, and it's deferred or something like that. So he defers the payment, so he doesn't get that money for what?
For 10
You're saying
years.
That? 10
yeah,
years.
So his payments are not going to start coming in until 2034, and they will go on for another 10 years. But that man is set up for life.
I'm going to predict right now, as a former DJ for the Los Angeles Dodgers for about 6 years, I did that job. I'm predicting that I would predict the Dodgers to win the World Series this year and probably a couple more times before Shohei Ohtani's retired.
100%. And we would love to see another Dodgers win for the World Series this
And they
year.
kicked off the season, right? They were in South Korea or
They
something?
did. They kicked off their season in South Korea this year. They played 2 games. Yesterday's game, they won 5-2. And today's game, they did lose 15-11. But they had 33 hits and 26 runs. That's a pretty intense baseball game.
Yeah, and it was tough because if you were trying to watch it on the West Coast, it was on at 3 a.m. in the morning. On the East Coast, it started at 6 a.m. So it was a Seoul series because it was done in Seoul. So that's pretty cool. All right, what else you got on the stories?
So our third story is going to be skateboarding in the Olympics. So last year, the skateboarding and surfing was debuted in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics for the first time, and it is returning for the 2024 Olympics in Paris this year. Our World Skate Olympic ranks.
Oh, give me the rankings.
Park and street skating.
Yeah, break
this
them
is
down.
pretty important here. So the top 3 men's park rankings this year. We have Gavin Botker,
Yeah.
Jagger Eaton, who he won bronze in street last year, and now he's in second for
Yeah,
park
he's all
this year.
terrain. He can compete in both, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then we got Augusto Akayo. Our top 3 women's park, we have Kokona Haraki, who won silver in park last year.
So she's looking good to probably medal again, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. And Hanano Kosaki. And then we have Sky Brown, who also won bronze in park last year.
You know, and I always felt that with Sky, I felt like Sky should have been higher up than bronze. I mean, she got a medal, which is definitely what you want to do. But I feel like Sky Brown has a chance to get better than a bronze and maybe a silver, maybe even a gold for her.
Yeah, and we'll see what she's got to show this year. So our top 3 men's street, we've got Sora Shirai, Nigel Houston, Gustavo Ribeiro.
And you got to feel Nyjah felt like if you saw his social media post after the Olympics in Tokyo, he was bummed that he did not come away with the medal, and he felt like he let USA down. So you can expect him to come. Yeah, he definitely wants to come away with the medal.
He's going to give it his all this year, for sure.
Yeah.
So, and then our top 3 women's street. We have Mamiji Nishaya, who she won gold in street last year.
Guaranteed another medal.
Oh, yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Race Alil, she won silver in street last year. And Yumeka Oda.
So things are heating up with the Olympics coming up at the end of July into August. There's a chance that I might be doing some TV for Olympic Broadcast Service for skateboarding. We'll keep you posted on that. I hope I get the job. I did some BMX out there in Tokyo, and I did surfing. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be commentating on something, but I'm not sure yet what's going to be.
Well, we'll see this year.
It's not about me. It's about the stories, right? Are we done?
Yeah, and that's your big 3.
It's the Brad Jay Show Birthday Roast with Damiana. Who needs marshmallows when you've got birthdays to roast?
Yep, indeed. It is time for the birthday roast, your birthday roast for March 22nd, 2024. And let's get right down into it, okay?
Well, it was your birthday yesterday, so are we going to
Yeah.
roast you?
No, my birthday.
Okay.
Let's leave my birthday out
Okay, sounds
because
good.
this is the 22nd. Mine's the 21st. Not the same. 22 is different than 21.
That's why I said yesterday.
Yes, okay. On this day, 1920, James Brown was born.
James Brown.
James Brown. James Brown. Yeah, 1920. And just saw him in, what was the documentary I was watching? You saw me watching the other day, the Woodstock 99 documentary.
Oh, yes, the Woodstock 99. That's a great documentary.
He is in that. He performed at that. And James Brown, who has passed away now, but 1920 he was born. Also, today's birthday is William Shatner. William Shatner, Captain Kirk from Star Trek, 1931. The dude's in his 90s now.
Oh, wow. He's still kicking it?
He's still kicking. He's still
All
funny,
right.
too. He still does commercials. The dude's, he's killing it. And Bob Costas, the sports guy who's done the Olympics. He's done all kinds of different things. He's continues to do plenty of sports stuff. 1952, he was born. Bob Costas, I think one thing I remember about him is during the Olympics, they were off tape, but the mic was still running, and he went off like a prima donna.
No way.
Yeah. And that did not help his career. Someone you might know, Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, okay. With her spoon or without her spoon?
Witherspoon.
Okay. She was hilarious, as always.
So Reese Witherspoon, 1976, she was born. And this is funny because William Shatner was born in 1931. He played Captain James T. Kirk on Star Trek. And James T. Kirk's birthday would be today, but not until 2233 when he was born.
Wow.
So it's
All
funny
right.
that William Shatner's birthday is today. He plays James T. Kirk, and James T. Kirk, his birthday is today too as well. So
All right.
there you go.
There you have it.
All right, that is the birthday roast.
The Brad Jay Show Rewind. Time to rewind the clock with this week's Brad Jay's Rewind.
All right, it's time for the Brad J Rewind, where we go back in time and we pull a video from the vault and we take a look at it and we laugh at me. This one is a really good one because this one goes back to not that long ago, just a couple years ago, X Games Aspen 2022. I always try to do these behind the scenes things. You see me do that forever, okay? So let's take a look at me trying to do a behind the scenes at X Games Aspen. Check it out. We are back. Welcome to X Games Aspen 2022. It's back. Check it out. Got some tunes going, a little snow going on. I'm going to take you behind the scenes right now and show you my digs here in Aspen for X Games. You're going to dig it. Check it out. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well,
that was great.
In my defense, when I was trying to walk in there, I was going through the wrong door, and there's a sound crate that was right there, and I fell over, and I did not get hurt. But
Good. That's the most important thing. You know that they all had a good laugh about you after that.
they did. There you go. That's the Brad J Rewind X Games 2022. Sometimes I'm not very graceful.
This week in history on The Brad Jay Show.
And it is time for the Brad J Show This Week in History for March 22nd, 2024. Well, what happened this week in history? Let's go back through it and check it out. You ready? Ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Okay, 1872, Illinois, first state to require sexual equality in employment. So to me, I mean, this is 1872. So I feel like, okay, the dudes have to have the same style bathroom that the girls have to have. They have to have the same eating room. They have to have the same setup, right? Is that what that probably means?
Makes
1872, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
1929, on this date, U.S. Coast Guard vessel sinks a Canadian schooner suspected of carrying liquor.
Ooh.
1929, that
You
happened.
can't be doing that during Prohibition.
Yeah, and I just feel bad for, because Canadians are nice people, and they're on the boat.
nice.
So, oh, sorry. And they probably have a bunch of cases of kokanee, and they're like, man, you sunk us. We just have beer, man.
They just want to have a little fun.
1943, the Dutch work week was extended to 54 hours.
Yikes. That's heavy.
Your age group could never survive
No.
in the Netherlands back in those days. 54-hour work week. Shut the front door. That's ridiculous right there.
So does that include Saturdays or Sundays now, or is it longer hours?
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe, you got to do, 11 hours a day, and you probably get your weekends off.
Wow.
Jimmy Stewart, the actor for It's a Wonderful Life, on this date, 1944, he flew in a 12th combat mission, an attack on Berlin, Germany. So Jimmy Stewart, not only an actor, but he was a badass also in World War II. So there you go.
Heck yeah.
So literally dropping bombs.
Literally.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That was horrible.
A little cheesy. It's okay.
1963, the Beatles released first album, Please Please Me. Is that the name of it? Were you looking that up?
That is the name of it. That was
It
a
is.
good album. A lot of good songs on there.
And in 1968, in San Francisco, Linda Johnson was kicked off a cable car for eating an ice cream cone. And now in San Francisco, you could do just drugs on the street. You could take a big poop anywhere you want.
You can do whatever.
So back then, I mean, ice cream cone got you kicked off a cable car. I bet you could literally take a poop on a cable car and no one's going to do anything.
No, probably not.
Very sad.
Wow, San Francisco has sure changed, hasn't it?
Come a long ways. 1978, on this date, Carl the Great Walenda, he dies after falling off a tightrope between two hotels in Puerto Rico. Dude was 73 years old, and he was part of the Flying Walendas.
Wow.
Apparently, they do not fly because Carl, at 73 years old, what are you doing walking a tightrope? Well,
He was just trying to live a little.
73, and you're on a tightrope, and he died that way. So
Wow.
there you go. And that's going to do it for the Brad J Show. You can check the Brad J Show out on YouTube. You can check out the Brad J Show on Instagram. You can check out the Brad J Show on the podcast. Yep. Just punch that in, and you can catch the latest Friday show that we've done on that. Also, you can catch my radio show. It's a 6-hour, 6 days a week. I do a radio show, Classic Rock, and it's on ktyd.com. That's ktyd.com, and that's on the West Coast, kicking off at 7. On behalf of Damiana, final thoughts on the show?
I think that went great. I love kicking it with you and talking about what's going on in sports, this day's in history, birthday roasts. You guys got to keep checking back every week because we're going to have some fun stuff for you.
The Brad Jay Show, episode number 1 in the books. See ya.
That was good.